everybody to Zone 4D. I'm Dennis Ford. Tonight's show is going to be an exclusive interview with Truthiracy 3, Christopher Lord, and he does a lot of interesting videos and whatnot, discussing a lot of what we cover on these shows. So tonight we're just going to get into the show here. I think he's actually joining us here. Brian, are you with us? Brian, you're around, man. Well, maybe we're having some technical issues. So like I said, again, these show tonight is going to be an interview, a couple questions, throughout the show that we're going to be asking him about his work and his research and what he's all about. So hopefully, Brian can join us tonight. He's actually going to be helping me host tonight. So I don't know if he's having some technical issues or not. See what's going on here. Yeah, so we're not getting any audio from Brian here. Hopefully he can join us in a couple minutes here, so we can go ahead and bring him in.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yeah, there we go. See?
Yeah, my headset wasn't working there.
Yeah,
it
you
looks
have me
like
out
we
there.
have Christopher Lord here. I'm very happy to have him on the show. I've been following all his films for a long time. He's a research documentary person. He's done several YouTube videos. He's gone through the frustration of having his videos deleted many times, and he still puts them out there, and they still get several thousands of hits. He's a very popular guy. You there, Christopher?
Yes, I am here.
Welcome.
Hello. What's up, boys?
How you doing
Glad
tonight,
you could make
Christopher?
it.
Thank you for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. I'm glad to have the opportunity for you to, share your experiences, some of the frustrations you've gone through on the Internet with these trolls and, just a little bit about yourself. Feel free to introduce yourself to the people here.
All right, thank you. My name is Christopher Lord. I'm the one that invented Truthiracy, and I make all my videos on Truthiracy 3 now. The first few channels got shut down by YouTube, of course. And I live in Hawaii. And tonight I just wanted to do a real chill interview, just kind of, nothing formal, real casual. I kind of listened to your other show the other night. And just kind of want to be relaxed and laid back a little bit here, always so technical and serious, I was hoping to kind of, like you said, answer some questions and discuss a few things, but yeah.
Well, absolutely, and I agree, everything gets so intense at times, there's so much going on in the world. It's kind of hard not to be intense, but yeah, it's good to just, sit back and just have a conversation and just, discuss the generalities of, some of the points that you're looking to make in general and, what you're about and what you're looking to do.
Well, I started Truthiracy and started making these videos, over 10 years ago. Basically just from, I was just like everyone else, blind, you might say. You're taught one thing, and then you realize that there's something completely different. That's the fabric that's all around you.
True.
So when somebody, once said something, I looked at him, I'm like, oh, shit, dude, you've been watching too many TV shows. And started laughing at him like he's a freaking crazy guy. What the hell is this guy talking about? Welcome to the real world. And then come to find out that I wasn't in the real world. I was blind. I was the one that was freaking ignorant, not him. I went to go prove him wrong and do some research, and the next thing you know, I'm like, holy shit, there's something to this.
Well, I think that's how a lot of us wake up, too. We're so cynical at times because it just, if it sounds extremely absurd, it probably is, or, so the saying goes, something like that. And, you get blinded by the ignorance of, the indoctrination that goes around you, and when you really research education and, how these elite people have invested money into these, private wealth endowments and, all the nonprofit sectors and how they've, basically hijacked education now where, any real education, is, out there for you to attain on your own.
Yeah, it's a computer that's been programmed for a certain purpose, basically. We're just computers, and we only know as much as we're programmed with.
Right. So you say you woke up about 10 years ago, or you just started making films 10 years ago?
No, basically I woke up like 10 years ago. I mean, well, a little over 10 years ago, 11 years, whatever it's been, but yeah, well over 10 years. And then I started doing I think a lot of my stuff started off on like noticing like pedophilia in movies and things like that. Because I had kids. I'm like, holy shit, these people are freaking disgusting.
Yeah, that's always the scariest thing, and I talk about that all the time. I was actually out at dinner just, an hour and a half ago, and they're like, oh, another person comes out and is talking about the Elmo guy, and it's like this very, effeminate-looking guy.
I heard about that on the radio.
Right.
I missed the story, but I heard something about that, about how...
Yeah, I mean, initially it was like, the first person, it was like...
perversion.
They were like, oh, it was a consensual relationship, even though he was 16 at the time. And then now this other kid comes forward and said, oh, it was when I was 16, and he told me how beautiful I was. And, we all know pedophilia is a problem in Hollywood. You just have to look at, the video. The people that talk out about this, the victims of this. Corey Feldman's writing a book about it now, and he's supposed to name 2 people. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I made
But you expose that a lot, and I really appreciate that. You expose the Disney aspect of things, and their demonic nature. With Pan, and just all the kids' movies and how they just pervert them,
Yeah, I wanted to jump in here real quick too, Brian. Thanks to Brian for actually communicating with you and having you, come on the show tonight, because like I said, a lot of what you cover and go over and things it's important. These are important topics that people should at least know about. If you're researching things, you should go ahead and research some of this stuff. And with the Hollywood, the sick, demented culture that's going on there. And they propagate, they make it popular, and they sell it to the children, and it people wonder why these pop stars have like 10-year-old fans and stuff, and it's deeper.
Brainwashing them.
Yeah, it's a lot deeper than people realize.
They consent to things and their choices, and they don't understand their whole perception and choices, and their consent comes from controlled consent. Well, it's like putting that little seed in their brain, and they're not even aware that thing's growing, and gives them a whole outlook that they would never have had they never watched that kind of shit.
Yeah, it always fascinated me too, because people won't necessarily like an artist unless they're promoted by the radio or MTV or one of these big networks, So it becomes a problem, because most of these people wouldn't even know about these artists if the people behind these industries weren't pushing these type of artists. We don't have... Like, I don't know what, I was telling Brian earlier today, like, I don't know what happened to talent. It's not about talent anymore. It's about, like, how much you can sell lies and all these other things that they do.
You got to play their game or you don't play at all.
Right, and people have died for going against them, So it's important to talk about that. I think people should understand that.
Without a doubt. That's why when I first started, I was trying to disguise my voice, and I didn't necessarily use my real name. That's why I kind of invented Truthiracy. I'll just go into this guy called Truthiracy, but still throw it all out there.
Right.
But then, of course, people want to say that you're false, you're not real. So I'm like, shit, I'm 100% real. I'll give you my freaking name then.
Right.
So I'll stand behind the shit I say. So.
Right, and a lot of people don't do that.
Yeah, exactly. In the whole industry, I don't know who's real, who's not. I just kind of judge by the fruits that fall from the tree, But I haven't met Jordan Maxwell, I don't know David Icke personally and shit. I just like everybody else out there, just doing a lot of research.
Yeah, me and Dennis always talk. We always have like deep conversations about that. It's like, I just really don't trust anybody. It's just easier that way. I won't get hurt. I'll always keep. I'll keep some stuff in mind, but I'll reserve judgment, because as soon as, you fall in love with these people, they're going to take you down the wrong path and sell you a bunch of lies, and you don't really, there's no definitive way to prove stuff, that's the problem.
Yeah.
You know, you talk about a lot of stuff, you know, you do, they all do, and it's just like, you know, some stuff is definitely, like, provable, and then other stuff is in that realm of gray, you know?
Well, that's kind of where, like, you know, Christopher specializes in, is, like, separating facts from fiction. And we need more of that, you know? We need more people in the movement, or whatever people want to call it, truth movement, whatever, enlightening people, whatever people want to talk about, waking up, whatever. We need more separation between facts and fiction. So things that we can prove and things that we can point out, like celebrities wearing symbolism or certain lyrics or any of that, you know, those are kind of like concrete facts that people can't dispute. But, you know, we talk about it all the time. You know, people don't want to distance themselves from something that they don't want to realize that they've been lied to. So it's really hard for people to swallow any kind of truth or any kind of facts, you know. And that
it always makes you wonder when these people have millions of views too, you know, or, you know, 100,000 followers and shit. I'm like, damn.
Right.
I just watched that video, and all they talked about was the all-seeing eye over, and they didn't even explain what it is, why, you know. You watch one of my videos, I mean, if you're seriously into the realm, I go back and watch my old videos. I'm like, holy shit, I made that?
Right.
There's so much crap in one video. It's like you could learn. Like,
That's
you know.
what I was just about to say. I was like, you know, it's honestly, it's just like, it's like baptism by fire. It's like, it's just so much information at you at once. And it's like, I'm sitting here trying to prepare for this interview. I'm like, you know, I've watched all the videos, and I've watched a couple of them more than once, but I'm not going to be able to talk about everything or, like, remember everything. But, you know, it is just so, you know, and that's the thing, you know, that's a good thing about a video. People can go back and watch it again and again and then look it up. I mean, you know, and eventually, like, it takes time. It has to, like, sink in. You have to learn it, like, you know, the whole Hollywood thing or the holly tree, you know, and how the holly tree, you know, like, there's another website I, like, always send people to. I'm like, look at this whole thing. It's like, that's how they cast their spells. The spell of hell. Like,
right.
You know, and
that's what's cool about what I teach. There's no dead blocks. There's no road ends. There's no dead ends. When you understand when I start teaching, that's why my videos kind of like go on forever, because in reality, the matrix, the web is all connected, you know, and if you can't go from one thing to another thing and you don't understand why, then you get lost, you know, and of course, a lot of things they put out there is propaganda and bullshit. That's why people get all lost and they don't understand this and they can't combine it. So what my videos started to do was basically, you know, bridge that gap. Was to start putting things, and then when you watch my video, like, oh, you don't, I mean, you can research if you want, you can, please, I encourage people to research, but when you start watching my videos, you understand, it's like, now, that's why I always say, and that's the reason why, you know, but it's true, and you understand that's
now
the freaking
you know
reason why.
And people don't research. They're not going to, they'll hear something and they'll be like, oh, you know, this or that, and it depends on who says it. Like, if a certain person says it, they'll accept it as fact, and that's crazy, you know, so. And we talk about it on the show a lot too. Is like people don't read, man. They don't read books. We live in an age where everything is like instant. Everything has to be right away, or people are not. You know, attention spans are not what they used to be. You know, I hate to say that, but that's what we're dealing with.
About being
well, you know, one of the things that Christopher taught me was about the Dutch and them finding New York, you know, or Manhattan. On 9/11 in like 1611 or something like that. But it was on 9/11, and he was the only guy talking about that. Nobody else was talking about that. You know, another thing I had found out was that, you know, Jesus Christ was supposedly also born on 9/11 on 3 BC. And that goes back, you know, before, you know, 9/11 ever happened. Just like, you know, so and it's just them, you know, using that number symbolism again, you know, to, you know, destroy people or give them, you know, trauma-based mind control on a global level. So.
That's right. That's why I started making my videos, because I'm like, hey, if no one is going to start, you know, spitting this shit out for real, I'm going to do it, because what I'm watching and the things I'm seeing, you know, they're not getting to the real, you know. And I like to get down to the nitty-gritty and start proving shit on a whole nother level.
Well, that's
breaking it down
like,
not only esoterically, but through freaking the very language we use, to symbology, to, you know, you can try to fight it one way if you want, but when you start to understand it on the macrocosm level, you know, all the little microcosm crap they bring to me. Here's college professors, biblical, you know, scholars and stuff coming in. And they think I'm wrong at first. You know, they do, but you notice I don't block them and just shut them up because they asked a really freaking good question. You'll notice, like, if you've been following me for years, I know there are people that have.
Yeah, no, you like to reply to your
comments. Yeah, it's because, man, to me, every human, no one's more important than anyone else.
But like I was going to add.
So I figure,
I was going to throw this in real quick because you touched on something that I kind of have a passion into. When I got into this, having people on or doing shows or even Facebook or any of this stuff, I always told myself, I would do a better job than the people that are doing it, because obviously we're not getting what we're supposed to be getting. So when I got into this, I was looking at it in a different thing where I could change, the information that people were obtaining. So, yeah, it's important to be passionate. And if these people aren't going to do their job right, then, of course, somebody will step in and do it for them, do it the right way.
Yep. I figure, hell, I might die and nobody will even get to the levels and understand the concepts and things that I have.
Right.
So I figure I feel almost like obligated to, express what I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I spend countless hours and countless energy and everything, to bringing it to the people for free, regardless of all the people out there trying to say that, you got to charge to watch his videos. No, you don't.
See, that's an important point too. Buy my DVDs. I'm the ultimate truth. No. Why was that even? Why is money even important to teaching people something that they should know? So
yeah. And I responded to somebody about that too. I mean, that's without question, that's 100% true. And there's also a flip side coin to that too. That nothing is for free. Even a video, DVD costs money, and the hour you sit there, burning the damn thing, So if 5,000 people ask me for a DVD, there's no way on earth that I could afford to give it to them. So it does cost money, but it's the intent behind it and everything. That's why I don't, you don't have to pay money to watch one of my videos. They're all free. But I'm like, yeah, if you got a bunch of money and you want to send in $20 a year, which is probably like a freaking penny to me, send it in to help me, because it's going to go to a good cause. I'm not out buying a Ferrari and shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm down in my man cave downstairs working countless hours and trying to bring some new shit to people and let them understand the Matrix.
Yeah, see, I
think that's important too. I mean, people want to, sit here and they'll spend money buying like iTunes and wasting money on things that never really even ever get to the artist. And this is something where, you're not Alex Jones trying to ask him $1 million for a telethon. You're just asking for some support, for your, website, your efforts, your time. I mean, these stuff, people don't do stuff for free. It takes their time, and that takes them away from other things. So it's always important to support your, artists and, the people that bring you work. And I always think that's important to even get out there, because people think people are doing it for money, and they're not.
Yeah, some people are. We know one of those, the recent ones.
We know who they are.
I had to make, when I saw that, I mean, it was funny because when he first subscribed to me a long time ago, I don't know, over a year ago, whatever it was, 2 years ago, I don't know. I just remember going to his site and him comparing, some bullshit nebula to the thing, how it matches, and I started watching a few minutes of it, and I was real busy, so I didn't have time, but I was like, I don't even have time to watch the rest of this, but from what I see already, this guy's full of crap. But I'm, he was nice and subscribed, so I'm just saying thank you, whatever, being cool to him. He made a nice comment, whatever, so I was being cool to him. But it did affect me at that moment. I realized, well, damn, that guy's not telling anywhere near the truth. He's just bullshitting over here. And then when I found out later on, a.k.a. Danny Wilton, when he was sitting there just passing off complete bullshit as truth, and I looked at the subscribers, I'm like, freak, 10,000 plus people are sitting here sucking this bullshit up? You've got to be kidding me.
Wow, 10,000 people.
And I'm sitting here spitting truth left and right beyond, belief, and that's why every day people write to me, how come this channel doesn't have 1 million views and shit, or 1 million subscribers and stuff? Everybody needs to watch these videos.
Because it keeps getting deleted.
And then my accounts keep getting deleted, blah blah blah.
Well, it's people don't appreciate how hard it is. Once you already have an established page rank and views and stuff, to have that stuff deleted and then have to start over, especially on a whole new channel, your whole search algorithm is totally destroyed, and it's literally starting from scratch. So this guy has started from scratch at least 3 times, if not 4.
This is my 4th channel. Yep.
Right.
And he's had hundreds of thousands of views, and they're all gone.
We talked about this, me and Brian talked about this off the air, but, only the people that are spewing garbage can keep their channels and keep doing what they're doing. But as soon as somebody says something, truth, intertwined with it, it's a big problem. Now they got to ban it. Now they got to stop it.
That's right.
Yeah, where are the wild things?
Right.
Yeah. Where the wild things are. I mean, that's one of his, things that gets like 100,000 hits on someone else's channel, yet his all get deleted.
Exactly.
And, I'm just thankful that it's still out there for people to see it. Outside of that, he's still not getting the credit as the artist that he deserves. And YouTube bans all his stuff but lets other fraud people. And this has been going on. Alex Jones actually just did a show with Gerald Celente and how Blogger, he's suing Blogger and Google now because all these bloggers have hijacked and, beat him in the search algorithms. And, maybe he's just like whining and bitching, but at least you have a legitimate case here. They're legit like copying your videos and going, "Oh, here, I just mirrored this, so it's okay." And
I'm not
you don't
official.
get any.
I haven't copyrighted nothing with Congress and shit. But I'll tell you right now, for the last 10 years, there have been thousands of things that I have come up with, invented, whatever you want to say, or discovered or rediscovered or whatever, and uncovered. And I've searched, everywhere, and I've never even heard of these things before. And then later on you'll hear people talking about it. Sometimes people will write me, "Oh, this one guy was talking about your stuff," and I knew he was talking about your information because no one else talks about it. Then at the very end he even slipped and goes, "Yeah, like Truthiracy,"
Right.
So, what was really funny is that Danny Wilton was saying how as soon as I called him out, because he always loved me before that, but as soon as I called him out, the first thing he wrote to me was, "Oh, and I hate how you butcher the English language, blah, 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 people like you." And I'm like, "Oh, you mean people like Santos, who's your really good friend and my really good friend, who is in agreement with my etymology on words, and that guy can speak many languages, and, he's smart. He knows exactly what he's talking about." And It's funny, he agrees with my etymology. In fact, I was just watching a video of his, one of his newest ones, a couple weeks ago. It just came up. And 100% he's backing up my etymology because he's in there using it. He's using the L even and, all this kind of stuff. And I look forward to doing an interview next, actually, with him. We've tried before in the past, and it just didn't work out one day. But it's funny. It's nice to see my stuff being used by the people that are, legitimate, and you can see that, it's not
it's
made
nice
up,
as
not
long
shit
as
I'm
they
pulling
give
out of
you
my ass.
credit,
Yeah, hey, that's, I understand. I just, the most important thing is that people learn, I guess. I'll be dead and gone, so.
Yeah, I had a quick question. I mean, do you have a team or somebody you work with? I mean, I'm sure it's not just you, right?
Me, myself, and I.
Really?
Not one other person. Yeah. People, often ask me that, like, who's behind me, or, Illuminati or Freemasons. Come on. No, I'm 100% just myself, man.
Yeah, I meant, do you have people that help you create videos or any of that? Wow.
Nope, I wish. That'd actually be better. Are you kidding? I just do my thing, That's my style, my way for now. Who knows, in the future I might have better documentaries, all formal and whatever, but I don't know. But now, that's what I do. Yeah, I just put down there and
I think people have to keep
hours.
They have to keep especially people that are doing information distribution, truth, knowledge, and all this stuff. It's kind of good to say, have the core of, it's just you, because I do that constantly. Whenever I'm associated with something, even these shows, I try to put all I can into it. And even some of the other things I do on social medias and stuff like that, I try to give people a glimpse of who I am and what I'm trying to do. And, I'm not looking for money. I'm not looking to get rich. None of that was ever important to me, in the beginning. Because we're dealing in desperate times right now. We're not dealing with, something that's a joke, and it's not funny to me what we're going through right now with some of the things that people just write off. It's just normal, it's just like that. No, it's not. We could be making a big change. We could be changing a lot.
Yeah, the human race and the life as we know it, or the matrix as we know it, is just one facet of existence. There's the human, if, let's say we all controlled, whatever, if the world was controlled by a different group of people or whatever, it would be something different. Another group, it would maybe be something different. There's so many different realms that the whole world could be living in. I mean, instead of spending millions, who would want to go to wars and stuff if there was theme parks and educational parks and zoo. If it was all free, we could spend billions of dollars instead of killing people every year. We could spend billions of dollars on our cities and people and life and earth and all sorts. You know what I mean?
Very true.
Different ways of existence, but we choose to spend the main resources on armies and killing and this kind of crap. So I don't know.
But still, think about what they spend on campaign ads for to get people to vote for two people that are basically the same mirror image. There's not too many. There's not a big difference between whoever's running. This is all organized before we even vote. Before the American citizens even go in there and vote through their meetings and their secrets. Yeah.
It's a facade.
So they waste all this money slamming into everybody. You better do this. You better do it. You better go vote and all these things. And they spend all this money on propaganda, and
that's why for those that watch my videos, I go through and I teach that stuff. I'll start off by saying like who chooses a president.
Right.
Do the workers, do the slaves get to actually choose who your president is for your company or your boss, the boss for your bull, who's going to bully you around? No. The slaves and the people, the workers don't get to choose who their president is, just as we don't get to choose.
Right.
They're placed there for us. Before Obama ever won again right now, he was already chosen. People think they went down and voted and it matters. And, they don't understand. They're waving their red and blue flags and have no idea what the hell they're even talking about, what the whole thing, the whole concept really means. They don't, it's funny. And like my videos.
He's of the same bloodline as Bush and Kerry and
he's like
all
a cousin,
that thing
man.
too. You start to there's once you open that can of worms, man, you start to understand there's just shit's crawling everywhere.
It's like wait. So the only black president in all of America who's from Africa, basically, and his father's from Africa, just happens to be related to the Queen of England and all the other presidents. Oh, that's so weird.
Right.
Yeah,
must be a
that's
random
like
coincidence.
You see my videos. It's not a black or white thing if people think it is. They even have white people being racist and the black people are. They don't understand. It has nothing to do with color. You know what I mean? It has to do with those that are in power and those that own it, and then there's the worker slaves. It's a mindset.
Right. What better thing to get people all riled up than to finally have a black president? That's a thing they've been waiting on to unleash for a while. And to use that, they use the racism thing. It's like, people, oh, you didn't vote for him, you're a racist. No, I'm not at all.
Yeah.
It's the furthest thing from it.
Yep.
I haven't voted in the last 4 elections just because I don't agree with what they do, so that's a whole nother show. But like
elections,
I said, they bring up the racism thing constantly, it's like.
And then I go through, and that's why I show from the Bible, Jacob and Esau, the whole racist thing there of the red and the blue. What I go through, and I show how Jacob, he's the blue, Esau is the Edomite, Edom or Adam, the red from the red earth.
Right.
Adam and Eve, the Bible, the two bulls. I go through and I explain that on a whole, thousands of different examples. So you can't just think that it's one facet. It's provable by all angles of L or angles.
Right.
Right. Well, as is above, so is below.
Right.
And the Star of David or the Star of Divide. Me and Dennis were just talking about that, and he's like, "Well, I think it also means as is above, so is below."
Right. I mean, if you got a triangle, I'm saying though, if you got a triangle that represents, whatever the Masonic people, whatever it's intertwined with, the all-seeing eye, all that. People see that triangle and they see that eye. They don't understand that there's a symbol with 2 triangles in it, where one's pointing up and one's pointing down. So, it's crazy. Like, people don't understand symbols hold power, and that's a big thing that people will never understand until they research and they get into this stuff because, symbols. Yeah, they're more powerful than we give them credit. Symbols are on everything.
And I think I made a video about that too, like breaking it down to the very basic level of, even millions of the very first existence, the, sexual energy of 2 species having to communicate, and that's where colors and symbols and things, of communication and language all comes from, is to be able to communicate so that you can have sex with that opposite sex to reproduce. And I went through and made a whole video about that, showing all about that and stuff. But yeah, it's pretty detailed, man.
Yeah, I was fascinated by, the dark moon and like how all these dates and everything interline with this, and all this stuff, man, that people would never ever even think about researching. Never even.
Yeah, I've never heard anyone actually ever talk about it besides you.
Right.
Thank you. Yeah, I like my Diana video that's when and then it really hit me as okay, she's the moon goddess, blah, 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 the goddess of the crossroads. And I'm just already, state of Indiana and crossroads. You start to just see all this, you have the glasses and the eyes to see. And then when I looked up, I'm like, wait a minute. Would they really kill the moon goddess on the night the moon, figuratively dies? And would they actually do that, And I fucking looked that shit up, and that black moon stared me in the face, man. I broke down crying because it hit me real. Like, shit, this shit goes deeper than you ever thought it did, huh?
Well, yeah, and I'm glad you exposed Warner Brothers, too.
Yeah, and the video on, the shooting in Denver and what Denver is all about, and, all that, that's important stuff for people to know, You
start to see that it goes, there's much more to the story than the average person sees. I mean,
people
believe in a man from a cave, sat there inside of his cave going, okay, September 11th. Is Septem means 7, and it's really 7-11. And what I'm going to do is the 11th day on Tuesday with the 2 pillars on New York's the 11th state. And, this guy sat there with the most esoteric wisdom in the world and then discovered all that and then did something on that day.
Right.
Maybe all that esoteric wisdom was in the cave, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Fuck.
Yeah,
and also,
I don't think people appreciate or, understand how deep, the Masonic and all this type of symbolism goes and where it comes from. And
the
I
Solomon
think
Brothers
that,
on Tower 7 and the one tower and the other tower, 7-11 again on the towers themselves.
Right,
and
then,
brought down
the
Flight 11. Flight 11 was like the first plane, or like all this symbolism and intertwined. Even the buildings look like the number 11. People don't ever
And one's the North
dots.
Tower, which is the male, and the other one's the female. It's 110 stories, which is the 11th again. They're broken up in 3 sections, so you're looking at the Star of David or the Star of Divide, as I teach, the red and the blue. King Solomon, the two pillars, red and blue again. And you start to understand the whole polarities of the Bible, the 2 bulls, the bull of heaven and the bull of hell.
Right.
And the 2 angels, like I was saying, Michael and Gabriel. Gabriel is the angel of the moon, and Michael is the Sunday, the angel of the sun. Anyway, and I just, I go through and just start showing all this. Pretty soon, this starts to sink in. And when someone comes on there and goes, oh, Truthiracy is full of bullshit, it's like, you obviously haven't watched this shit because there's no way to disprove it. It's fucking, look at this shit. It's over and over, and it repeats itself,
Saturn, Saturday, all these things, man. All these, the days
Oh, yeah, he's done plenty of videos on Saturn.
All down the line.
That, that's the day that you go out and get drunk and party and kill people and get
day
drunk
of chaos.
and have
That's
sex.
right. I just went to a wedding, man. I'm like, of course, it's on Saturday,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we all drank tons of champagne and, got all chaotic and crazy and, celebrated. Right. That's what it's all about, and they're getting married. It's a fertility thing right there. The 6th day, which is sex in Latin, 6th planet from the sun. And it's funny because people are like, Sunday's the first day of the week. Look at this, Don. That's Truthiracy. What the hell he's talking about? And it's like, no, you don't understand. The sun and the moon, once again, the 2 pillars, are ending and beginning the week. The moon's day, Monday, is beginning the week, and then Sunday would be ending the week. There's the 2 pillars again. Yeah. And you're realizing that that's why it's called a weekend. It's not the week beginning. They call it weekend for a purpose. And Mon is the M-O-N is the moon. Monotheistic means one. A monarchy, the one rule. Same thing with the Monday, Moon's Day. It's the one that's the original God. It's the one that began it all. Or not began it all.
I don't know how familiar you are with like some of the new music out there right now, as far as people talking about this.
Kate Rhino kind of covered a lot of that.
Yeah, I was just going to say Grand Deception, Kate Rhino. He goes through every day of the week. He's like, Fridays for Frigga. And, he just, breaks down the whole stuff. And, he's an older guy.
Yeah,
but, you know, it's just nice that there's a new genre out there that's actually not a bunch of total garbage and is actually like, you know, like one of your videos where you could, like, you know, send 4 minutes to somebody and it will really teach them something, you know.
Yeah. Sometimes it's overwhelming. Truth will do that to people.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, we have to, you know, we got to separate truth from, you know, what's the fiction. You know, we have to have a separation there somewhere.
Yeah.
Because it's, you know, it's important for people to learn the truth the best way they can, you know, and if it's
I was
hard...
happy when What's the Name made a hip-hop video, or, you know, a few years back they had made a hip-hop song, The Truthiracy, and then they made another one again, and it's nice to hear it in songs,
too. Oh, I
music,
saw
you know.
that. Yeah, I actually like that.
Yeah, we have, you know, we have a couple underground truth
I heard some of the
artists, you know, and...
yeah. I like that stuff, man. Sounds good.
You know, we covering that, but we're getting into a whole other realm here on these shows. So, like I said, it's important to have you on, and people can get a glimpse into what, you know, your work is and what you research, and you know, I can tell you have a lot of passion for what you do.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
You know, just from seeing your work alone.
Well,
so
I
like
appreciate
I said,
you
it's
guys
important.
having me on.
Yeah, it's important to give people a different spectrum on, you know, this information. You know, you can tell people all day long that there's a, you know, I think people think it's funny to hear the word Illuminati now because the mainstream has just created some kind of joke about it, like it's funny, you know, but it's deeper than that. There's a lot going on.
I teach all about the Beltane, and I show, like, you know, where the evil things are. I show how that's a Beltane ritual, and you know, the royal wedding on Beltane. You know, May 1st, the Illuminati's discovered. That's the day they kill Bin Laden and all that. You know, you start to put all the chips together, man, the puzzle pieces together. It paints a perfect picture.
Right, and
you
like
know,
the witchcraft.
You just have to take the time.
You know.
Yeah.
The other side of it, you know, because these people are practicing dark magic. It's obvious to anybody that's awake and anybody that can see that. It's obvious.
Yeah.
You know, I can already tell that, but you know, 9 out of 10 people, they're not going to be able to discern that information and absorb it.
They basically control the white magic and the dark magic. So whether either one of them are even real is kind of beside the point. The point is that no matter which perception of choice you have, it doesn't matter if you want to be a Satanist or if you want to be a Christian, it's the same theology, and they own your concepts and your way of religion, basically. You know, so when I make videos about that, boy, those things got taken down real quick. You know, I'm like, didn't fit the guidelines for YouTube. And then you look on YouTube, and there's freaking all this nasty blood and guts and you know, all these kind of horrible videos on there and pedophilia and shit. I'm like, wait, I was just explaining to Christians how their God is exactly the same God as the Satanist God. It's just another aspect of it. You know, and they both worship the same thing. They have the same theologies. You know, and in fact, my video gets banned. You know.
Well, see, I understand. You know, I understand all that. You know, that side of it.
They don't want both sides knowing the truth.
Of course, they don't want.
They want the evil ones to think they're evil and mean and powerful. See, but my belief is they're really not evil, mean, and powerful. They're just able to fool people to make them think that they are. You know what I mean? So these followers believe that, oh, you know, Satan's more powerful, and you know, it's all bullshit, not real. But they think it, and they do these rituals and all. You know, they probably think the elite are, you know, some powerful magic. Don't fuck with them, they'll kill you. You know? So I'm just like, that's why I do what I do. I'm like, man, then come kill me then, because I ain't fucking going to live in a world of falsehoods and lies and deception.
Well, let me ask you about
my
that.
Children,
like,
you know?
You believe it at all that they have any power at all with those rituals? Because, I mean, they do them and then they do some fucking ridiculous shit.
The more research I do over the years, I just kind of really think that they don't. You know, I think, like I said, it's to own the minds of everyone that is part of the organization.
Well, we touched on this. You know, we touched on this on the show we had Payday Monsanto on, and he was saying, you know, why do they publicize where they're going to meet at? Like, if Bilderberg meets, why are they publicizing where they're going to meet at if they didn't want you to know about it?
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. It's the ancient, you know, form of the king or the priest, you know, saying that they're going to fool the people, like the ancient Mayans of the eclipse of the sun. You're going to block the sun out and scare everybody. You know, there's no real power.
Like when we talk about like people like Michael Jordan,
right?
Yeah.
You know, like maybe some of these people actually do sell their souls and get a little bit of power. Maybe they are possessed by demons.
I think the power is like
I don't
money,
know. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe, but to me, I believe that if you're selling a lie, and you'll make lots of money if you want to be a scam artist. If you want to, get there and lie to people, you can sell shit left and right, and be a telemarketer.
I agree with you on the music industry and the artists and stuff like that. But I mean, even in Hollywood, they admit that they channel demons. Denzel Washington and all them.
Sure.
Even Madonna.
That to me, that's what I believe. Is that really true though? I mean, that's their perception of what they're doing. They think they're getting the mind. If you convince the mind of something, that's the power right there.
Well,
it's like a kid when you were a kid. Like you have a toothache. Well, I don't know. What is it? Put a match on there, and the sulfur will make it feel better. I don't know. Whatever. Just something stupid into their brain. Like, oh, it does feel better. You're laughing behind their back because no, it didn't. That shit doesn't work. But if you think it did, then good. I mean, that's kind of how I see it. Because personally, I don't know. I just break all this shit down to where I realize that there are no demons. There's deities of the moon, just like a monster, a moon star. You start to realize all this shit. There's no freaking Satan anywhere. There's no devil. They just want you. They put the movies on. They give you this perception, and it's bullshit. There's no freaking devil floating around anywhere in the universe. Because if you were to go out, 5 billion miles out in the universe, you'd be sitting in the middle of space looking back at Earth, and where's the demon at? He ain't out here either. He's not on that side of the fence. He's not on this side of the fence. He's freaking nowhere. You know what I mean? It's not that's just, it's a human perception, I believe, personally. That
I see what you're saying, but I do believe there's an evil energy that people harness, and, people have a choice, are you going to do the right thing, or are you going to do the wrong thing? And if you choose to do the wrong thing, it's funny that you can make a lot of money in this world, and I don't think people connect those dots.
I had that choice a long time ago, man. When I still even believed that there was a devil and all this kind of I was still like everybody else. These Illuminati motherfuckers are devil worshippers, and they put that off and stuff. But the thing was, I just don't believe that they actually believe in that shit. Because once you become to a certain level, you understand that it's not real. But they make the minions and the people believe this shit, so they'll want to sell their soul. And as long as they're selling that bullshit, they'll put you up there. They'll give you $50 million. They don't give a crap. They print the money for free. What's $50 million? You're going to blow that shit on the $30 million house and cars, and you're going to put it right back in their fucking hands anyway.
Exactly. Anyway, or they'll just kill you out of it like they did with Biggie and give it all back to Puffy, They make Puffy the billionaire, and it's like he never was anything, and
not in the black
moon. Yeah, exactly, and that was his sacrifice. I don't know if you've ever listened to Professor Griff. He talks about this a lot. How each one of these artists had to do a blood sacrifice to get in that 20, 30, 50, $100 million spot.
I believe they do probably do that shit. Yeah. Without a doubt.
I don't doubt it. Eminem did a video, and it's called predictive programming, but Eminem did a video with his best friend, Proof, where, he got shot, and then, a year later, Proof got shot and died.
Yep. I was just telling my
son. And he's like, I felt so guilty. Oh, my God. What the fuck do you think was going to happen, bro?
Right.
Yep.
Now he can't sleep, and he's stressed out. But, on top of all that, the religion is going to separate people every time. Every time something comes up about, Christianity or any religion, people are going to back it, and they're going to fight for it, and they're going to believe in it, which is, I can understand that because I deal with it.
That's what I was saying a second. Yeah, that's what I was saying a second ago, actually, was that I had a choice a long time ago when I started making my videos, and I realized that that's what I was getting at a few minutes ago, that these people are sucking it up.
Oh, yeah.
And holy shit, I could really run with this shit. I could freaking sit here and fool and be the Pied Piper and lead these. I could get a million subscribers and shit. I realized that because people were just starting to just go crazy on my videos when I made this. The Christians and stuff. So if I had just kept my mouth shut, I could have done whatever. But I made a pact with myself, freaking 10 years ago or whatever. I just I'm keeping it real. I'm not here to freaking ever try to fool anyone or become popular or become rich off the shit. Or I'm doing it for the betterment of mankind and my family, my kids. I'm not doing it for any other reason. So a long time ago, I said I'm gonna lose the Christian backers. I'm gonna lose Satanists as backers. I'm gonna lose I kept naming. I'm gonna lose them all as backers because I'm not backing up none of them. I'm here for myself and I'm here for truth. You know, I'm not here to help anyone along, or God, if I join the Christians, I can get millions of people to help me. You know what I mean? It's just I decided no, I'm not going to do none of that shit. I'm not here to help none of them out. Well, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I'm not here to ever try to make one group happy and another one not. You know what I mean?
Right.
Keeping it real, basically.
Yep. Well,
whether I have one subscriber, I might have one subscriber in the end, but hey, at least that one subscriber is real.
Exactly.
I mean, on top of that, though, people have their beliefs. People are going to believe in things, and I do too. At a certain point, you know what I'm saying, there's not too much somebody can tell me about my religious beliefs, but that's just that's just how I am. But then again, I'm not like, I see how every religion has good and evil. There's good and evil in all aspects of what religion is. Okay, you can use it for good, and you can twist it and manipulate it and use it for evil. And a lot of times throughout history, these people have taken things and manipulated them and made them perverted and made them not what they're supposed to be. The message to me has always been the truth. Like, I'm not concerned about somebody debunking the Bible. That's not really important to me. But what is important to me is to let people know that some of these elite people are practicing things that, Christians would call evil or any religion. Like, these people are involved in some things. And then if you break down the money and you look at the symbols and everything on the money and the how the numbers keep intertwining, and you'll find all these symbols and numerology and everything intertwining, you kind of figure out, why are they going to the Bohemian Grove? They're not going there. They get on TV and tell you they're Christian, but then they go to the Grove and they do mock ritual sacrifices.
Exactly.
And whatever else
and that's
they're
just
doing.
What we know about.
Right.
Right. And that's what they do behind doors. Exactly.
And with the Hollywood thing, like these stars, these child stars that get into the industry, I'm sure they're doing things that they never thought they would do in their lives because they got involved with something that's very influential. It's very powerful.
How do you stop it?
Right.
You get ousted out. If you open your mouth.
And they'll kill people. Like you were saying. You get to a certain point. I look at Tupac's career. Tupac was what he was in the beginning. He got involved in like making music for the industry, and then later on in his career, he was like, "All right, I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna fight and get this message out," or whatever he wanted to portray. He did the Illuminati Machiavelli album, and he was killed in front of a lot of people, and a lot of people, "Oh, I didn't see anything. I don't know what you're talking about." So, if you speak the truth for too long, of course things are going to happen to you because you're telling people information that is so potent that if too many people understand it and grasp it, then the elites are going to have a problem, or whoever's in power.
That's right. They've warned me. I've had multiple letters sent to me, and I deal with thousands of people a day, so I can tell knuckleheads writing to me and people that are college degrees. You can tell different types of people that write to you, and the way they write to you, you can just tell this is from them. So, and when they warn you and tell you that you need to stop in the nicest way possible, and when they send you trolls beyond trolls, when the first, all these, scholars and people that knew the Bible, they thought they could send to me, and, I'm not saying they all were government trolls, I'm just saying, I know some of them obviously were, and maybe still are, whatever, I don't know. But,
honestly, I got to tell you, they have software out there these days that can automatically target all your videos and just leave awful comments and rotate the comments.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's not new,
Yeah, without a doubt.
Hey, I don't know if you guys want to take a caller. Looks like we have somebody on hold here.
Yeah, I think I might know who this might be. Hold on one second. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, go ahead and take that caller, man. I think that's Glitch Johnson.
All right,
I think he has a couple questions.
928, you there?
Hello?
Yeah.
What's going on, man?
No, not sure. It sounds like I'm hearing something different on the phone than what's going on the video, or on the live stream here, though. It sounds off. You know what I mean?
I think
I'm not on the air, am I?
There.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, okay, cool. Gotcha. All right. Well, saw your video earlier, man. the guy they're interviewing here. I forget your name, but yeah, you got some good stuff, dude.
Thank you, man.
I'm going to have to look more into that. I just started seeing it today, and it's looking like real truth, and hey.
Thank you. Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. You know, that's been my payment since day one is you know, the good feedback. You know, I think a lot of people kind of focus in on the few negative people, but a lot of people don't see the private messages I get and people thanking me, and you know, you got a few of these people calling me crazy, but the majority ones I get is someone saying, "Oh, you know, you're a genius," or you know, blah blah blah, great things. You know, and I don't sit there and get a big head and feed off that, and I just you know, I just go with the punches and keep trying to do what I do.
Well, it's funny. They're the crazy ones.
Yeah.
They don't see it, man. It's like in plain sight.
Thank you, man. I appreciate
Well,
that.
and it is hidden in plain sight, and
know?
he's always showing us that. And one of the things, the most recent one that he's done is the Dark Knight, not conspiracy, just Truthiracy.
Yeah.
I think he's up to part 13 right now, but one of the things that he showed me that I didn't know but I had obviously seen was in Batman, the original, the name of the theater was the Monarch Theater, the same theater that went down in the Aurora shooting.
That's right. That's right.
Didn't hear anyone else telling me that.
Yeah, you know, it's so funny because when I start out to do the video, I have, you know, 50 great things I'm going to say and blow people's mind. And then when I start telling the story, I'm on part 13. I'm on number, you know, I've barely even started scratching the surface. You know, I get sidetracked a little bit, I do admit, but to me, everything matches up and is related. So I can go on a sidetrack for 14 years, come right back, and go on this, you know, number 2. It's just like that's how things combine for my brain. You know, I see how things all relate, and it's like I could real quickly tell them all of this stuff, but they wouldn't absorb it correctly because if they understood, you know, step by step and how it relates to this and that, when you get to that higher level, if you can sit through my voice and my video and get to part 14 and stuff, you know, it'll start to all make sense. And I remember in part 4 he was talking about. Now I see what he's saying, you know. But for the poor people that just watched a few videos and then quit watching it, they're not going to ever grasp what I was saying. You know, they're going to miss it. They're going to miss the finale.
Yeah,
considering
our chat room here is going nuts, man. People are just going insane. Like I said, you can't talk about religion. Don't ever talk about religion. Don't ever do that.
Or politics, man. Not everyone agrees.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, we all know that religion and politics are both the devil,
and that's what separates everything.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You know, that's the Hegelian dialectic, man.
Yeah, problem, reaction,
antithesis,
solution.
and synthesis. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's correct.
Yeah, and you know, you hear the dollar's going to crash, you know, all over the place.
Yeah.
You know, how are people going to, you know, even make it when that happens? And they're, you know, it don't matter how much money you have because, you know, it's going to be worthless when it crashes.
Don't worry, I have a bunch of gold. Oh, wait, yeah, you can't eat that or wipe your butt with it, right?
Exactly.
You know, toilet paper is going to be a huge commodity.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
But, yeah, either way, they drive the system. They keep it supplied, blah, blah, blah. They're the big corporations, you know, and in a sense, they run all those in a way. And the whole money thing does.
People don't understand is that, you know, they don't just run some things and they're getting more powerful. There's a new world order. It's like, no, they are the order. They are the world. They run it already.
The old world order.
Yeah, it's exactly, and it's, you know, there's no.
And I'm glad that you talk about the Federal Reserve and the money system, because a lot of people that talk a lot of truth don't, and it's at the heart of the whole thing, and everyone knows it.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
You know, it's all intertwined, man. Can't have one without the other. If you don't understand that one concept, you're not going to understand the other.
Yeah, you're not going to understand why there's a media or a CIA.
Yep.
You know, when it crashes, I mean, people aren't even going to know what to do because that's all they've ever known, you know what I mean? That's what they used for currency. And That's what they got, you know.
They've done it in history past, and they'll do it because it's a recession, or it's a recycling of every pyramid scheme is always meant to crumble. Along the way, a lot of people make money, but in order for someone to make money, somebody else had to lose money eventually.
Right.
On the stock market, if you made $20 million, it didn't just come out of nowhere. Somebody lost $20 million for you to make $20 million.
Well, if it's never lost, it's only transferred. The only difference in today's economy is that this Federal Reserve can legit, print money out of nothing, put it in a bank, leverage it out 100 to 1, prop the market, suck in all the rest of the real money, and then just pull their credit back at the end. And that's what you have is, them walking it up. There's no real money pushing the stock market up over the last, 4 years. Yet you have all them doing that to create, the unemployment's getting better, but they don't tell you about the 90 million Americans out of work. 90 million divided by 300 is less than 8%? I don't think so. They're lying, and they're just changing the calculation.
I think the only jobs they're creating, dude, is federal and state, I mean, really.
Well,
pretty much, you know what I mean?
And see,
it's a system that they run and they own, and it's running the way they want it to run. They don't want it to be ran a different way. They don't want, too many people. I mean, the whole world could basically come to a certain level of living and, there's plenty of wealth, there's plenty of food. It's just that certain people, the minority, are hoarding it. And the rest of us have crumbs to scatter for,
Oh, you mean we have a bunch of psychopaths that run the globe that worship dark pagan gods that try to discredit everything that somebody's trying to do good because that's how they make money.
I showed you that in the Dutch, how they're the ones that discovered. You understand what's coming up here. You've been hearing this hype of, the end of 2012, end of the world, and all this stuff, and in the Bible. And when people just don't understand what's really going on, and like I was saying, the Dutch are the ones that discovered the first World Trade Center in 1613. Manhattan, the World Trade Center. And you understand that this whole recession thing came when the World Trade Center attacks happened. And I'm the only one that I'm aware of for years now that have been the only one to discover that Henry Hudson is the one that sailed into New York or Manhattan on September 11th. There's these things connect in so many different ways. It's unbelievable. So the end of the world is really the celebration, just like 9/11 was, a celebration of when they discovered New York or the new Amsterdam. When they discovered on September 11th, it's the same as when they brought the towers down. It's a celebration, just like on your birthday, you're celebrating the annual event by burning pillars down with the candles, and you make a wish. You're doing witchcraft, basically. Same kind of ritual they did on September 11th.
On the 4th of July.
Right, all that kind of stuff.
Or eat turkey on the day when they massacred Indians. That's always great.
Yes, exactly. So you're celebrating when most people don't realize what you're celebrating. And on the end of 12 becomes the 13, just like our new day begins on the 13th hour. The same thing is happening. And when does the Federal Reserve become in existence? 1913.
Yeah, I was talking to Brian about the number 13 symbol and what it means to these people. They call it the lucky number 13, but it's the furthest thing from that.
From the 13 colonies to it just goes on and on, man. So,
yeah, it does.
But if you realize when you start to see the 13, it's symbolic.
If everybody wants to take a break here, we can take a couple-minute break, maybe play some music or something, and hopefully people will call in because, like I said, the religion aspect is going nuts in the chat room. So I hope people will go ahead and call in and give their 2 cents.
Well, I do a lot of videos on religion, but it's nothing personal.
It's not my area. It's not something that I really get into. But I do know, like I said, I know that there's, like I said, if you sell lies and BS all day long, you're going to make a lot of money in this world. And there's something wrong with that. Seriously wrong.
That's why I'm broke.
Right. That's why I'm broke.
Yeah.
Because I don't sell the BS,
Yeah,
so,
that's right.
Either way, like I said, yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to ask Christopher a question.
Sure.
What do you think about all this? Well, you know, have you ever seen those videos where these guys are talking about going sovereign and, you know, the whole, you know, the whole, what do you call that? Darn it. Slipped my mind.
You talking about the traditions and all that?
What I'm talking about is,
you mean doing away with
getting out of the
corporations
system,
and not being a citizen, but being a free entity? Is that what you mean, like?
Yeah, like a free man on the land, you know, or basically it's the whole concept of it is, though, is that you're tied to this birth certificate that's a contract, and everything's a contract around you that you consented to, basically, is in a nutshell what it is.
Yeah, there's no such thing as freedom. It's more like liberties,
It's like the straw man, you know,
well,
like
what do you think
straw
about
man.
that type of thing, if you've actually researched any of it?
Well, it's all great, but the problem is that if you look through history, you know, from ancient Egypt to anything, when you realize that when a group of people do go off to the part of the world anywhere they want, and they have so-called freedom, you know, they're going to come search you out. They're going to come take over you. They're going to put their grasp and their fingers in there somehow, some way, through your laws and your ignorance. You know, they're because that freedom basically represents a, you know, what it's like. It'll break the foundation.
With your
of
freedom ends their existence.
Right.
Yeah, so they can't really allow that. So, like I said, you can
well,
think
the word
that
I
you're
was
free.
trying to think of was what I just thought of it a second ago. Straw man. Straw man. You know, and then there's all kinds of things about that too, as well. So.
Yeah.
I was just wondering what you thought about that.
You know, like I was saying, it's hard to do because I'm not saying it can't exist. In a perfect world, it will. I'm not saying that, you know, all of our efforts one day won't make a world like that. I don't know. I hope so. I hope, you know, that every human on Earth can be treated equally and have, you know, equal rights and all that stuff, obviously. But, you know, the people that own this world and run this world, you know, that's going to go against their ownership. That's why they have police that say protect and serve, you know. And then, you know, they can easily put that one little word public underneath there, or the people, you know, it's protect and serve. The owners that pay
the might makes right.
Yeah, it's not for protect and serve the innocent people.
You know, you talk a lot too about those judges on the bench too, and that really opened my eyes to a lot of things that I hear other people talking about as well. You know, about the whole bar and, you know, how you have to pay bail.
Oh yeah. Yeah, once you understand one concept, it opens all doors. When you have the true key of wisdom, you know, a lot of times people are teaching stuff, but that key doesn't open all doors, and that's why it doesn't always make sense. But when you have the true key of wisdom, it's going to open all the doors. Nothing's going to be roadblocked, you know, when you start to understand that. On that, that's why I break it down on a level of the very language we're using, you know, you know, when you understand the ancient Paleo-Hebrew, like I teach in my videos, you start to learn the very letter itself, and the Aleph, which is the A, it's the same as Greek, Latin, you know, it's the same as Hebrew, and it's the same Paleo-Hebrew pictograph of a bull. A is the symbol of the Illuminati. You know, it's when you start to put these things together, you start to understand words, when they're made up of these certain letters, they mean something. Nothing is made by accident. You know, you don't just look at something and go, oh, we'll just call it a kneecap. No, it has to relate to a kneecap for us to even call it that in the first place. You know, so every word in our language is built upon a foundation of some ancient wisdom or truth or whatever. You know, so every letter plays a very important role in the very words we're using. And I'm just scratching the surface, you know, of all the stuff I've taught. I've taught thousands of things, but when you start to understand the few things I've taught, you can start to apply to other things. You go, oh, that's true, what he taught in that, and it applies to this word as well. Now I start to understand. Like when I was teaching everybody about the DE words. You know, DE, the very Dalet in Hebrew itself means implies negativity or the underworld. When you look
Right.
at the pictograph, it's a doorway, but it's a doorway to the underworld, going down underneath. So then you look at decline, deception, devil, death, December. You start to understand, oh, man, it all means to the negative. So you can start to apply this wisdom.
Right, I think
language.
That's very important, and I think we have another caller here. He might have a couple questions for you.
Okay.
Glitch, I don't know if you had anything else to add for, if you want to hang out with us, I'll put you on hold.
Yeah, I'll hang out.
All right. And if you have any other questions, let me know. I'll bring you back in.
All right, man.
All right, thanks for calling in, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. So we're going to bring this caller in and see what they're talking about.
Okay.
719, you're on the air.
Hey guys, how's it going, Danny? This is Dave from YouTube.
Dave,
all
what's
that
up,
stuff
buddy?
with Queenie Cameron and oh yeah, wasn't that some fun times? Oh, crying out loud. She was something.
Yeah.
Well, she's, in a way that was real interesting kind of for me to see, one of these just whacked out fundamentalists and, these people are something else to study and, really just over the edge, with these beliefs. And it's like why I appreciate a lot of your other videos, the other topics, the bull gods of the Bible and all that. And, the Dumbites and everything, and how it all started by combining this, into Egyptian and Greek, and rolling it all into one, and that's what we have today. And people think this book is been around for all of humankind and all this.
Yeah.
And it's just
golden
made by
floating
the
book from
very
God or
same
something.
people.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly, man.
Yeah,
Hey,
it's just all made by the very same people that that we're talking about here, and what they do. And
yeah.
it's just one of the greatest control mechanisms ever. And, it's like we're talking about in the chat here. I don't know if you guys are seeing it, but...
I'm seeing it.
a fundamentalist, and he's certain he's right, and nobody can tell him any different. But, dude, bottom line, you believe in stuff that was made up by man.
Yeah, not the real God.
That's
what people always think I'm trying to prove God's wrong, and
No.
What is your religion? No, I am the furthest thing away from that. If you actually watch my videos and listen to me, you'll know that I do believe in some type of God or something. I mean, I'm not ignorant.
Right.
There's something much more to this world.
Yeah, but the interventionist God of the Old Testament, that was telling people to raid camps and and take the virgin girls for slaves and
kill children.
That's the
and
control mechanism that they started up. And
I just don't believe
I don't
in the full God of the Bible. Period.
No, I mean my
people
thing.
Can believe.
Yeah, my thing. I just wanted to add real quick. My thing was it is what it is to people, and if people believe it, that's fine. There are some good teachings inside the Bible. It's not all evil.
Yeah.
It's not all bad. It's not all.
Every man-made book that has ever been produced by a human.
But there is a boogeyman.
All has great teachings.
There's a boogeyman that everybody's predicting that is out there controlling and manipulating, and he's just gonna rule the world and all these other things. But a lot of this stuff is true because if you look at our financial institutions and our entertainment industry, I mean, it just goes on and on and on, and people
and they use the ignorant people.
Saying that these are prophecies.
Yeah, because see, the prophecies.
I totally disagree with you, man. I'm
not saying it's a prophecy.
I mean, how much of a stretch is it to write that the world will have difficulties and there'll be central control people? It's always been this way. I mean,
thousands of years.
I really didn't want to touch on
the thing about it is that when you start to you start to realize that everything in our religions, that's why it's called religion, the legions of the sun god Re, because you're talking about cycles, you're talking about nature. But what they've done is they made it in an anthropomorphic way.
Oh, sure.
They've created these characters, and they've tell the whole story, because when you watch movies and stories, if you understand the esoteric wisdom of what's going on, they're telling you a story. When you watch Alice in Wonderland, it's not about some girl in a little forest of mushrooms. I mean, you got to.
But my thing is, I really don't believe deep down inside of me that Christianity is the enemy. There's bad things.
That's what people get me wrong.
Enemy.
But that's what I'm not believing.
It's not an enemy at all. It's the thing is that
the people in power attacking
what they use.
You know, they wear Jesus symbols. The rappers wear Jesus on their chains, and they rap about pimping and selling drugs and everything else. So I see it being attacked, and I see people praising their allegiance to a dark side. So
you
I don't believe in any.
That's why you have a Bible.
I believe if anything, the
Bible is
dark
not called
side
the one
exists
bowl.
in man. You know, you take man out of the picture off of Earth right now, and you just have the natural order of things. You know, there are no beings here that are, you know, getting people to go over here and over, you know, to a dark side. I mean, there's no actual person that's doing that.
Well, that's why we have a Bible, because it's not the one bowl, okay? It's the Bible. It's the bowl of heaven and the bowl of hell. Those are really the same entity, because what it is you're just talking. They made it all evil. No, the truth is that it's a day. One day includes both darkness and light. It's the day and the night. And darkness always takes over towards the end. Always. That's why you have revelations for the evilness happens.
Up and God,
and this was their esoteric wisdom at the time.
Darkness
and this
takes
was their
over the daylight.
Wisdom, and they were documenting that through stories.
Yeah.
That, you know,
winter, the evil winter, December,
cold.
The deception of the devil is going to take over the goodness of the summer. And then the goodness of summer is going to come back and save the world, because that's what happens every year.
That's all.
It's what happens every night, you know?
Yeah, sure. It's the religion, and, you know, the central ray. This is the
and that's why the Greeks call him, you know, Zeus or Jesus or Jesus.
So why are people so afraid of Bible scripture? When you say Bible scripture to somebody, they run away like they got their head cut off.
No, I don't think anyone's afraid of it.
I can't speak for other people, but I'm not afraid of any Bible scripture.
Of course you're not afraid of it, because the world has programmed people into believing that this is some kind of there's a bearded man in the sky that's controlling everything. But you don't understand, okay, people's religions, it's not important to debunk their religions, because if somebody believes in something, let them believe in it. Now,
no, but they believe in it because they've been programmed. It isn't like they came
my
up with
purpose
it
in this, though, is to separate,
now,
you know what I'm saying, what's really going on from what's bullshit.
But the Bible that you and I are both handed and everyone else is handed.
Do you believe somebody coming back to rescue people?
No, I'm just saying that until God comes out of the sky and tells me that everything in that Bible is false, I'm not believing anything that any man says on this planet.
You know, so you just believe it until God tells you it's not true? I mean, well, that's
if God wanted you to have a Bible, he'd come down and give you one. I'm just saying, because religions of the world are made by man. They're not. That's why they tell you the Bible is not written by God. It's written by humans.
Well, that's fine. If the Bible's not real, then we're all just rolling around on Earth and we don't have any purpose.
See, that's not true.
No,
that's not true at all.
Not.
All right, guys, let's chill. We were all about to take a break, and then this caller came on, and everything got all heated. Let's take a break, reconvene, change the subject.
Does stuff about religions and Bible.
Yes, because religion is the most evil thing we're dealing with. We're not dealing with psychopaths manipulating GMO and trying to kill us all. You know, religion is what we need to be focused on, and really just stomp out any kind of religious beliefs in the world, because that's what's really important. You know.
Well, what's really important is
if you want to do that, that's fine with me.
Hey guys, real quick.
Of course it is.
I don't see it.
Hey guys, real quick. The very important thing is to understand is that religions were made by man. So the important thing is to know truth, and the true God did not create a Bible for each and every human on Earth. It is one God of one culture. The Hebrew culture.
I can listen to a Jay-Z song.
Here in Hawaii, they have Pele God. Here, you go to Mayans had their Kukulkan. It's the same thing. No matter where you go, they have a God. Doesn't mean if you look at a Hawaiian God, do you think that they painted their Hawaiians to look like other people? They look like Hawaiians. The Hebrew God, El, from the ancient Ugaritic text, is the ancient bearded bull god, El. Just as you see in the Bible, the bearded God. It's going to go through. That's why Jesus has a beard. That's why Zeus has a beard. When you want to start to understand religions and study them to a T, you understand, wait a minute, there's something more here than what the average person understands and knows about.
Of course.
It's much deeper than that. And nobody is trying to take the Bible down or away, or they misconceive it to mean that you're trying to prove God is wrong. No. I believe in a road. It has nothing to do with it whatsoever. I'm proving that the bull god of the Bible is not true. Doesn't mean the Bible doesn't have a lot of great wisdom and truth in it, because it does. But you have to understand that somebody's using it. It's the #1 printed book in the world.
Of course they're using it.
They're
using
billions
everything.
of copies.
I understand that.
There is a church on every corner.
But if
somebody
you pull something
is trying
out
to
of there,
manipulate somebody somewhere.
If you pull something out of there, out of the writings that changed your life and possibly made you a better person, what's wrong with that? And then when people get on the phone and they want to say, you know, Christianity is responsible for so many murders. So what? There's people running the world right now that are killing massive amount of people, and people don't even care because they're so wrapped up in debunking.
Well, I care about I don't say so what to any of it. I say stop all of it. I mean, bullshit on there's no excuse for that. You know what I mean, regardless.
I didn't even want to get into the religion realm tonight, but it becomes a debate because people want to debate.
It's
this is fact.
So you feel passionate.
Nobody on this planet can prove it right or wrong. So until it's proved right or wrong, I'm not associating myself with like trying to debunk. I could do this all day long. I could go around telling people that this is wrong and that all these things that people. These people focus their time and their energy on so passionately that they don't have any other outlet to understand. This might be a benefit for somebody. So why are you trying to pull somebody away from something that's possibly helping them be a better person? I don't understand that.
But also the better person is also this, that the Bible says that don't worry and the evil ones will take over, and don't worry because Jesus is going to come back and save you. That's what I see wrong with the theology of using a man-made religion. And
well, that's fine. I mean, if the world wants to pound Jesus down like he's a nail in a piece of wood, and they just want to keep pounding him,
well, what did they do?
That's fine because when things do happen, and I'm just saying, it's funny to me because people want to associate that. You know what I'm saying? They want to say, oh, Jesus, who cares? Jesus wasn't regurgitating the Bible. He was speaking truth, and he was telling people this reality and how to comprehend it. But you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I didn't want to get into the religion thing.
I'm not sure how much you've studied, but I mean, if you understand, if you have to watch more of my videos, my friend, I'm not going to ever put your religion down because you have to understand where I'm coming from. I'm not sure that you've watched all my videos, but you're taking it a little personal, and it has nothing to do with that because this is about finding truth, not trying to destroy any goodness in the world. Because what it's doing is trying to break down any type of false teachings that any
I'm just not down with Oprah and the New Age, and I'm not down with all that. I'm not down with somebody telling me that everything that I've
and this isn't why I did the interview.
False.
I didn't do it so people would be divided. I wanted to focus on the things that were going to bring us together. It was only the other caller that started
El is an ancient Ugaritic bull god that existed thousands of years before the Bible was ever written. It's the same exact theology, and I can.
But I have watched your videos, and I knew this subject was going to come up before we even did the show. Me and Brian were even talking about this, and by watching like the chat room and all these things that are going on, people just throwing random facts around like the Bible is false and everything is ridiculous and you don't know what you're talking about. It just makes me sick.
Person. Well, Jesus is portrayed as a great person in the Bible, and who wouldn't want to be that guy? Has anyone ever walked up to you personally and gone, man, you're like Jesus, bro? Has anyone ever said that to you?
I mean, I'm approached by people constantly telling me that I'm doing the right thing. I know the path I'm on.
I understand that point. But what I'm saying to you, has anyone honestly ever looked at you and go, man, you're like Jesus to me?
No,
because I've been told that several times in my life. But I don't ever sit there and act like I'm Jesus. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't go that far ever. But what I'm saying is, I think I'm like every other human on earth. We all have a good will, a good spirit, a good nature. And only others in the world that manipulate us and our goodness, are taking advantage of our goodwill, our good nature.
I personally believe that the power of Jesus Christ lives in all of us, and like I know Dennis does, and you can not believe in Christ, and I'm okay with that.
So whenever I'm trying to show that they're wrong, I'm not proving that all the good things and the goodness of Jesus. I would love to be like Jesus. You know what I mean? I'm not going to ever say
that's what we should all strive to be. Instead of being people that go around advocating what scumbags do all day long, why don't you strive to be somebody that is a good person? That's the core principle of what I go by. My religion isn't Christianity. My religion is Jesus and what his teachings were. So when people tell me, the revelations and all these things is false and these things aren't going to happen, that's kind of striking a chord with me because I haven't seen it happen. And until it does happen or it doesn't happen, then I'm not 100% sure about it. And that's just how I feel about it. That's my opinion.
Well, you'll know that when you're 90 years old or whatever and you die, you realize that Jesus hasn't come back. You understand that part of it's not real. But the part of the reality of
if we make it that long.
Well, we're not going to make it. I'm not going to make it till 90 years old because we keep doing the same garbage that we do every year and voting for corporate politicians that are not worth shit that want to represent us but don't do anything for us.
Right? You do understand that that's been going on for thousands of years. That's why the Bible's written talking
about
Rome.
But it's so much more advanced, and you know it is. You know, if you look at where we were 100 years.
If you were living 700 years ago or 1,700 years ago, you would be saying the same things about the way the culture is and everything is at that time as well, because that's only your perception of understanding, just as it is ours right now. 2,000
yeah, but we also live
even,
in a technocratic
who
dictatorship.
Who knows the freaking way it's going to be ran, but it doesn't mean that
the communication channels are totally different. It's not like they could overhear us talking on the phone or, you know, all that stuff back in the day. Or they couldn't correspond every letter that was sent and open the letter, you know. Like, there's little things that have changed over the last 100 years. Put it this way, if I had to sit
here and decide, like, right now, just to, like, to ease, I know Brian, I'm sorry, the other gentleman I've been speaking with this whole time, I can't remember, I don't know your name. I'm sorry. Dennis, okay, Dennis. So, like, just put this at rest in your heart to know who I am, is that, like, if, you know, the devil's sitting here and Jesus, if they were real people, I'm on Jesus' side 1,000 trillion%, bro. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, I understand.
That's who I am from my heart.
I wouldn't have had you on the show otherwise.
I
know you're a good-hearted person.
No, I mean,
I care about my fellow man. I love. I mean, that's why people probably have said that I'm like Jesus or I don't know. It's because I feel that way about mankind. I feel about doing the good thing, and I believe the power of love is more powerful than evilness. You know, and all this kind. That's my teachings. That's who I am, and that, you know, I don't believe in teasing people. I don't believe in putting people down, and, you know, so I've always been like that. And that's kind of, you know, where I came from.
Well, to kind of let you, you know, I'm new to some of your work. I mean, Brian has introduced me to it, but I'm very passionate about what I do too, and I feel like, you know, if I'm doing something and people are like, oh, well, you shouldn't do that. That's fine, but I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, and I'm going to keep striving to reach the potential that I know that I have inside of me. And, again, it's people's opinions, people's beliefs. It's something so minute that people shouldn't really focus that much time on it. And like I said, it gets to me at points in my life because I deal with it constantly on these social medias and people telling me, you know, this is the truth. Well, how can you, you know, nobody can really prove that that's the truth. Just like I can't prove to you that everything in the Bible is 100% correct. I can't prove that to you. But,
I understand.
You know, you see, you have to...
the reason why I became passionate and kind of like teaching...
People have to understand.
It really makes me upset, like, you know, how I expose, like, Danny Wilton and, you know, lying about all this stuff, is because it really pisses me off when I see people using the innocence and good nature of people and using it against them or fooling them. So that's kind of why it pissed me off originally. That's why I'm gonna make these videos and show people exactly how they've fooled us since day one. You know, it doesn't mean that all the good, you know, doesn't mean that all that stuff isn't real. I'm just saying that somebody along this way has been fooling the living crap out of all of us for a long time, for thousands of years even. And it sickens me to sit there and lie about something. That's why the Bible's all about parables. You know, they're saying one thing but mean another. You know, it just pisses me off because they're taking all these good-natured people that have good hearts and would die for somebody if they had to. You would give your left arm to save somebody's life or whatever, and they will sit there and suck all that goodness out of people and fool them and lead them like the Pied Piper, leading them down to the road of destruction and lies and bullshit. And
well, that's what I'm saying.
That's the only thing that I, you know, do in my videos when I'm teaching.
You can't put every Christian in one class. That's impossible because there's people out here
they're called a Christian because they believe in a certain form of one man.
I'm just saying, though, you can't really put everybody in that class. You know what I'm saying? You can't say...
well, you can ask 99% of all Christians, and I've already done it, and I know. Ask them who the God of the Bible is. They don't know. They only know the Son.
But I'm saying,
they know who Jesus is, but
if people believe that Newt Gingrich or any of these politicians are Christians and they go to the Bohemian Grove, you can't classify everybody that follows that religion as them because we have liars and deceivers and people that don't care. They don't care about your opinion. All they want to do is what they want to do.
But a person that's a Christian is saying that they follow the Hebrew faith. That's what they're saying.
Yeah,
so
but
that's what a Christian means.
Nobody getting into it would really understand the grasp the concept of any
Yahshua.
of that.
I mean, that's, you know, they're talking about the Messiah, Yahshua. So they can call themselves Christians, but the whole thing is that religion comes from something and somewhere. It is not it's not. It's just like I said. It's just like any other religion, and I'm not cutting that one down. I'm just saying every human culture on Earth has a religion, has a form of belief.
But
and
I
it
just
just
think
so
it's funny.
happens that the most popular one on Earth came
No, I'm just
from
saying. I
one
think it's
culture.
funny. Like things would say that the religions are going to be, they're going to be exposed, and all these things are going to happen, and all these things. And Kesha gets on the ABC morning show and does a performance where she's wearing upside down crosses and satanic pentagrams all over her performance, and people are like, "Oh, that's just." Whatever. While her fans are 10-year-old children, so they're indoctrinating people into this.
The same symbol that is used on the
Satanism is a religion, and a lot of these people in Hollywood are following it. So if that's Satanism and they're practicing
it's just the inverted point, because the year comes to an end, the day comes to an end, and you're talking about two polarities of one existence. So, like I said, we have one day, but it's both day and night. So when these people they're just choosing to work like Satanism. They're just choosing Satan as Saturn, who is invented from Biblos, and I can go through 1,000 trillion things and prove what I'm saying in a million different ways. The point is that they're just giving you a choice of perception, just like a Democrat or a Republican. Which one do you want to be? But you're part of one system. It's the same thing. You want to be a Satanist or you want to be a Christian? Because it don't matter. They own the
but you have to admit that the dark side of the choices have been
I don't like liars. I don't like murderers. I don't like pedophiles.
Exactly.
I don't like losers.
Exactly.
I don't like none of that.
Me either. At all. At all, man.
And they're the ones associated.
That's why we're
with
here
this
right now, man. That's why we're here giving our hearts out.
Yeah,
bro.
I didn't want to, that's kind of why we do these shows. We get into heated debates or talks or all that stuff.
But you know what? Keeping it respectful is what it's all about.
Yeah, you're more than welcome
and you
to
doing
come
that,
back.
And like I said,
And
I said, Dennis, correct?
Yeah, and I'm learning.
Right?
I'm watching.
Yeah, I think
I'm
you're
learning
a great guy,
your videos.
I can tell that this struck a chord with you, and I'm sorry. Didn't never mean to be disrespectful to your religion, man. Because the point is here is that that's what divides people, and the point is that we don't need a division. We need we need a bridge us together as a human race. You know what I mean? Not color, not race. Nothing needs to separate anybody.
Well, like we said at the beginning of the show, I don't agree with everybody 100%. I don't even agree with my family members 100%. So I'm just basing my thoughts and how I perceive things on, information that I research and I take in. And I'm not telling everybody, you have to be this certain way or I hate you. It's not even like that. I'm just saying this is who I am, and it took me a long time to get to where I am. And, I think respect is the core basis of all this. If we can't get together and have a discussion on certain things like this, then, we have a problem. We have a bigger problem than I thought we did. So, again, it's not disrespect or none of that. I wanted you, to go ahead and, say, what you had to say about it, and, that's important. And like I said, you're always welcome. You can come back to the show. We can talk about this on a later date.
People always ask, who's the real God then, Truth? I don't know. You know what I mean?
None of us know.
I certainly don't know. I mean, I just, personally for me, I just know that the things that I've learned about the man-made religions is that they all hold a certain amount of truth, but none of them are 100% truth. You know what I mean? Right. I know the real God of the Bible is not going to or the real God of mankind is not going to kill an innocent human who accidentally fell upon the Ark of the Covenant and he strikes him down dead. You know what I mean? Then he won't strike down a guy who's about to murder a woman or whatever. I mean, you just start to realize that these are ancient stories, and when you realize that it comes from the Illuminati and it comes from these ancient stories, you start to realize that this ain't from God. God didn't float down here and make a golden Bible and give mankind something they can't disrupt and make sure that every single human gets a copy, whether you're living in Africa in the bushes or down in, at the Amazon River. No. It's the Illuminati. It's one group of religion trying to spread that theology throughout the world, and there's a reason for it. Like I said, there's a church on every corner. That costs. Think of how many trillions of dollars that is. The money can be used in different ways, but there's a reason why somebody's doing that.
And there's a liquor store on every corner
too. You don't see a true exactly. You don't see weed legal.
Right?
It's liquor.
Yeah, but the liquor stores are the largest aggregator of.
It's like get out of church and go buy a bottle of liquor. It'll be all right.
You know what I mean?
I've seen that. I was in Canada. There was a church right next to the strip club. I swear to God.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. But it's true. The Catholic Church is the largest aggregator of. resources ever. You know?
I want mankind to find out the truth. I wish, you know, the real God would come down and let us all know and kill all the evil ones and all that shit. You know, I mean, I'm 100% for that. You know what I mean? But I don't want to see no one kill, to tell you the truth. I don't want to know.
Yeah, I mean, if there's like a judgment or any of that, you know, that's whatever. But you know, I think everybody should be, you know, like you were saying, you know, everybody has a choice. You know, it's like not free will or anything like that, but it's like you can choose to rob this store, or you can choose to go in there and buy a piece of candy and walk out and be normal and be a normal person. But you know, if God decides that He wants to come here and destroy David Rockefeller, yeah, I'm all for it. Yeah, I'm waiting on it. I want to see it.
And then our whole perception, like even when we speak, listen to us, like, and I hope God, I hope He is a man-made perception. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I say it all the time. By accident, I'll be like, yeah, and God, and He's a, oh, there I go again, saying He, because I've been brainwashed with that since I was a kid too. You know, how do we know?
No, I mean, I understand what you mean.
How do we know that God's not either or? That's just a man to humans. Right. You know, he implies that He has a tallywhacker and every other thing.
Like, how could you name man? How could you name God that created everything, to all these things, you know, and the beliefs and all this stuff? Like, how could you put a label or a name on something that infinite, you know, something that powerful?
That's right. And before patriarchy worship took over, which is the male, you know, we had the matriarchy worship of ancient times, which is why the woman is, like, basically condemned in the Bible.
Or like the obelisk, you know, the obelisk.
Well, yeah, that's
all these things.
Baal list, yeah. So you understand that the ancient world was ran by matriarchy, and you think about it, because if we're just basic humans with our basic thoughts, who gives birth? Men don't give birth. Women give birth to life. So that's why the ancient world worshipped goddesses, you know. And then it changed over about 5,000 years ago to patriarchy worship, the male as being the leader and the god. But that's why even like in witchcraft and shit, what do you get? Are the males the one that rule? No, it's the goddess. It's the female, the witch.
Well, women are more.
That's why we got a queen in the world.
That's why you have a Madonna or a.
Yeah, women are more seductive and like luring people in, and this happens from strip clubs all the way down to the Garden of Eden.
Well,
they're able to seduce.
I want to say something about people giving. That's why I'm not cutting you. I'm just saying, people, I disprove the prophecies. I disprove, because what you understand is that they were condemning the woman at the time. You try and tell me that I mean, I don't know about you, but I used to be a player, and I would sit there and I'd seduce women left and right, and I'll say whatever it takes and pour a nice bottle of wine and be all romantic, and they'd fall in love with me. Boom. But that doesn't mean I should be condemned for that. Why does a woman have that way and feel that way? God made us that way. But it's using the ignorance of the people, and I mean, I can make, like I said, I can make videos like that left and right, get probably 1 billion views and shit. But the truth is something completely different. The women aren't evil. They're not seductive. They're no more. If they were seductive, then God made them that way. Right. That's how we create. But I'm just saying, there's no reason to put anything negative on that, because
women are more likely to be seduced by the diamond.
Well, many people think that, you know, you either come from Jacob or you come from Esau. And if you come from Esau, you're evil. And if you come from Jacob, you're good. You know, which is actually the opposite, because when you consider that Yaakov was the one that went to his dad and lied his ass off to him and told him he was his brother. Yeah. And then they say, well, but God prophesied that, you know, he was going to be the leader and all this kind of. No, when you understand what happened in the Bible first, is that when Esau came in all hungry and starving and gave him the Edomite, the red food, you know, he took advantage of his good nature at that moment. So you could sit there and say Jacob's evil, but you don't understand, there was no Jacob, there was no Esau. These are metaphoric characters of a Bible, of a story telling you about the Bible, the 2 seasons. You have to have, that's why he's holding onto the heel, because that's what the winter does. It holds onto the heel of summer. It comes afterwards. If once you start to understand what I'm saying, it all becomes clear. And I'm not saying there's not, you know, way more to the whole story. I'm just saying I understand a lot of the story, and when you start to understand a lot of the story, it really becomes clear. So there is no black or white. It's not you come from Jacob or you come from Esau. The Esau ones are evil. You know, that's like Queenie sitting there saying, you know, you're the seed of Cain and all this kind of, you know, you're the offspring of Cain and all this. Fucking funny as hell. You know, prove that I'm the offspring of Cain and you're not. You know, that's just ridiculous. You know, just like
so you don't think
that
any of that stuff is actually real at all? Because part of me kind of thinks
who follows
there
these
is
biblical
maybe
characters around, writing stories down for as they live for 30, 40, 50, 60, or whatever, how many years? Who was the one when they were born? This is what happened when they were 12. Who followed? Nobody did. When you understand, I mean, it goes. That's why I make the videos that I do. It isn't just provable in one realm or one angle. I can prove it so many different ways that it's like when you open your like, holy shit, and that's where I came to, and that's where I want to help other people. I'm like, dude, I'm not here to prove, you know, the Bible wrong as far as being wrong and mean and evil. I'm proving that it's wrong that these people have been fooling us since day one. That's my point. Not another point. Not to prove, you know, evilness is good and witchcraft is good. No. I don't belong to any, like I said, I don't belong to any group. I don't belong to Freemasonry. I don't belong to cults or none of that shit whatsoever.
Well, let me ask you this.
I'm not the seed of Cain and all that bullshit.
What should we believe, though? Like, if everything we're being told is BS, like, where do you even go? Like, what do you even...
A lot of people ask me these kind of things, but, you know, the truth is that I may not have an answer to tell you who the real God is, but I can tell you right now who it's not. You know what I'm saying? Within reason. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right, I understand.
You know, and that's my whole point, because whoever knows the truth has obviously kept it from us. If anyone knows the truth.
Of course.
You know what I mean? That's the big question too. You know, I'm not going to give any false hopes or whatever. And people ask, you know, well, if you prove the Bible's wrong, then like you had even said this earlier when we were all kind of getting heated, but it was like, well, then frick, you might as well just give up everything then and fucking just start. I'm like, no. Because to me, I already know the Bible is not real 100%. But do you see me killing my neighbor? Do you see me going and raping little girls and shit? No. Because I don't need a Bible to tell me not to do those things. God gave me that. God's inside of me, just like He's inside of you. You already know.
But people don't have that. They don't have that mechanism to where they understand that. They just watch TV, and then that's where they get the
whatever
message.
that little God inside of you thing is.
Yeah, like you got one angel on your shoulder.
Of the population.
Yeah, and then you got a devil on your shoulder. They use it in cartoons all the time. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. Like I said, the influence...
I'm just saying that it doesn't, to me, it doesn't change a damn thing. Because I don't like, oh, I got no reason to live for. How do you know? How do you know that the real God is not watching over you right now? So to me, I live my life every day like the real God is watching over mankind and me right now, and I'm going to watch my P's and Q's. Not because I proved the Bible's wrong and now I can go screw dogs and kill bestiality and make rapes and murder. No. That doesn't give you a license to do none of that shit. You know, I even keep it more real. It makes me even want to be a better person. I mean, you know, that's just how I see it. I don't need any kind of man-made, somebody trying to tell me. That's the whole, like I said, you're born on Earth, and then you have everybody filling your ears full of shit your whole life. You know what I mean? Like trying to keep you away from truth and shit. You know, that's how I see it. Like, you know, the Pied Piper leading you away from, he'll lead you everywhere, but he ain't leading you to truth. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that, like when I make my videos and you know all that, it's coming from a good place. Like I said, I don't care. All I want to do is like help people get to truth more close as you can. I'm not saying I'm 100% truth. Who knows? I could be wrong about some things. I mean, I really try to be really detailed, and I cross-reference, and I see things on another level. So I really never try to ever teach anybody something wrong purposely, ever, not ever once. And if I ever made a mistake, like one of the black moons was wrong on my video, it's because a long time ago when I had pulled that research out and I looked at my old card I'd made, 7 years earlier, well, the site that I was using to do the moon phases, you couldn't really tell. It wasn't precise. So it still looked, when it came up, it was a black moon. But it was 3 days later or 3 days earlier or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But so when I did that research, I was 100% truthful.
Right.
When time went on, it was a little bit off, but it doesn't take away the other thousands of ones. You know what I mean? So, yeah, my heart's in a good place,
it's
man.
Tough. How do you know
I'm
which
all about
one's
peace.
the black
That's why I write
moon?
peace, love, and wisdom, man. Peace, love, and wisdom is my motto. You know,
right?
Treat people with respect, and you'll be respected. You can we can disagree, but at the end of the conversation, man, you know that I'm a good-hearted person, and so are you. And I think that's all that matters in the real God's eyes. You know, He knows
that's all I'm concerned about.
He knows there's fake religions. He knows there's bullshit. He knows that people are going to be skewed from the truth. You know what I mean? But all I can say is through this whole cobweb of bullshit, you just keep your heart true. You treat people like you want to be treated. You be the best person you can on this earth. You know what I mean? And that's, to me, that's all you got to follow right now. Until someone else, or not someone else, but until God floats down himself or herself, itself, and tells.
Yeah, I'm not perfect, man. I don't claim to be.
Yeah, that's what I would do. But I mean, just saying that as much as these people lie and, like you said, doing ritual. I mean, you can't trust these people, man. You can't trust what no one else tells you on earth. God made you. You use your own heart. You use your own judgment to feel. Do your own research. Don't take what I say as truth. You watch my video, then you sit there, and that's why people do it. They go, wow, I sit there and I looked up every single damn thing you said, and shit, you're right. You're not lying. While you watch like Danny Wilton's video. That's why I made that video. Motherfucker's pulling shit out of his ass, lying. And these 2 pixels, man. No, they don't. They look nowhere near the same. The Delta Nile, it's a natural occurring thing. An Orion Nebula, it's made of particles, dust particles, and gases. It's constantly moving. It matches recent development.
There's a huge triangle on the sun.
Yeah, it's not. That thing almost looks like a triangle a little bit.
About that. I was like,
but
what?
There's absolutely no eye in the center of it. And if you look back
I'm just catching all that yesterday.
Ancient Egyptian religion, you look at the Eye of Horus, not once is his eye placed inside of a triangle. So he was wrong about that. And then I went through and the medulla oblongata and the medulla pyramids. He pointed the whole fucking wrong area. He points to where the pyramids are, the whole wrong area. He's trying to say the little splotch in the middle of the map is the pineal gland. It's ridiculous. He's teaching and bullshitting people, and it pissed me off. So I wrote my videos to real researchers out there like myself that bust their ass day and night, cross-referencing, doing, and then you have somebody just sitting there just pulling shit out of their ass, and then you have all these subscribers, and it pissed me off. I'm like, man, this guy.
Yeah, it's like that dude. He's like, look at their ears. They're all actors, Supposedly, these people are 5 or 6 different actors, and this dude's got YouTube subscribers.
What's his name? That used to be a guy who
Dallas
supported
Goldberg.
That's right. And I said, man, nothing personal. Just like if you watch my first video I made about Danny, I said, I'm not attacking you personally. Of course, they always attack me personally because they already tried doing it logically. And every single person that came up with, from Bible scriptures all the way through esoteric wisdom would bring it. And when they brought it, they realized in the end they joined my hall of fallen fools. Not one time have they won. And if you've been watching me for the last 10 years, you've seen it's happened thousands of times. And that's why they stopped doing it. Now what do? They attack me personally. They attack my family. They attack my kids. Shit like that. Because that's what their classic ploy is to discredit you on a personal level. Because they can't attack your information. So they have to come and try to cut, what does my kids and my wife have to do with what I just taught you right there, or whatever in the video? What does that have to do with it? It has nothing to do with it. But that's the classic ploy.
Is what it is.
Ego. Oh, Truthiracy is so egotistical. At one point in the video was it about ego? Never once. What I mean? But they'll draw everybody's attention, and the average person that doesn't do research and think for themselves, oh, yeah, he is egotistical. Yeah, you're right. It's all, and so they get them off track. You know what I mean? They're able to come to my site, and because I don't block people unless you really push it beyond belief, and then I'll finally block you. You know what I mean? But, yeah, I pretty much let people say what they want, and that's why, like Danny, that's why he controls what people say on his videos. Because I learned a long time ago, holy shit, you make somebody can come and destroy everything you just done said, can destroy it in 2 seconds if you're not careful and blah, 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 right? So he realized that and took it off. I let my shit open. Bring it.
Right.
Hey, if you have a comment to say, you can sit there and cut me down. Bring it. If it's logical and if you win the debate in the end, then I'll say, hey, you're right. I actually was wrong about that. There's nothing wrong with being wrong,
Right.
We're all wrong. That's how we learn, man, in life. We make mistakes, and we learn from our mistakes. So that's why I allow all people to say what they want on there. But if the person keep coming on there and 75 freaking comments later, they have no proof, didn't bring shit to the table, and they're still talking about ego, they're a troll. They were sent there to try to fool people and shit. You know what I mean?
Well, and how much energy you're really going to waste on somebody? You could make a video in the amount of time that you end up, like, talking about all these losers, too.
Right.
And a lot of times you do make, like, 3 or 4 videos.
Yep.
You know,
it happens.
shit. And I learned a lot about in those. You know, like the dumbite one, like that idiot guy.
Yeah. Yep. He you know, religious to the T, knows the Bible like the back of his hand, and then he met me, and then realized, wow, it's you know, there's much more to it, and I understand it on that level. That's why I did all those videos about that, and you know, battled a lot of the Israelites and the Hebrews. But like I said, it's nothing personal against them, but you know, it's just that I prove that shit on a whole other level, and then open there. I guarantee what's his name, Aaron from Woe Unto the Wicked. You know, he on the street preaching left and right. Yeah, you know, preaching left and right, and it's great. There's nothing wrong with, you know, trying to help mankind out. But when you're sitting there using, you know, people use it to their advantage or use it to what they want to you know, get across or whatever, you know, and sitting there calling people out on the street and calling them faggots and shit, and you know, that's not the way of the Bible. You know, even Jesus or whatever. You know what I mean? And if you're
or just the good or evil, like, you know, even if you don't believe in it.
Real. Yeah,
yeah, we're all human.
To me, man.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, you just don't call people names. And I have all sorts of friends, man. You know, from all different walks of life, all different races.
I hear you.
You know, and it's all about your spirit inside you, not the freaking paper thin color of your skin, or what race you're from, or you know, what's your
Eternal
culture,
respect.
Yeah, man. You know, we're all human. We're more alike.
Yeah, and
than
if you can't start there, then you end up like fighting in wars, and this is the type of thing that happens. Is they always try to break us down from that, you know, coming together attitude that we all have in our hearts. You know.
Yep. That's why millions of people die from religions. Millions of people die from all these different points of view because they try to divide you. They want you to be racist. You know, I'll hear you know, a Hebrew brother, you know, sitting there how they want to have white slaves and shit. I'm like, dude, you're no better than the dumbass. If I went to a page of a KKK guy and he's sitting there talking about having slaves and he's opening his dumb white mouth, he's dumb and racist. Why on earth would you want to be dumb and racist? That's what you're being no better than him now. You know what I mean? Two wrongs don't make a right. You know what I mean? No, it ain't, you don't want to have a white slave.
Or all the rich white people that get together and say, look at all the rich white slaves we have.
Yeah.
Look at all the sheep.
Yep.
Exactly. You know, like they think they're rich because they have $100,000. Oh,
yeah.
You know, and like that's what the joke is. It's like, oh, they're rich. Let's tax them. They're the bad guy. It's like, no. The $26 trillion offshore that you're just reading about, that's part of the problem. You know, the other 150, 200 trillion in global debt that will never be able to be repaid. That's the other problem. And where's this money going? Oh, to the people that have already 60 to 70% of all the world's net worth ever.
Right.
And all the gold. And it's like, and that's the other thing, you know, people talk about going back on the gold standard. It's like, no, dude, let's not go back on the gold standard. We don't have any gold. It's all gone. They've stolen it all. Like, we have so much debt. Like, that's why people won't be able to, like, secede from the Union. It's like, no, dude, you owe way too much money, Texas. You're not going anywhere.
Right.
You owe, your kids owe, your grandkids owe.
We have owners.
You're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So we have like 7 minutes left. Why don't you tell us a little bit about some of your ideas of videos that you're going to be doing going forward?
Well, I'm going to finish doing the Dark Knight series because, like I said, I'm only halfway done, really. I got lots that I've been saving forever.
You're only halfway done? I thought it was only supposed to be 12 parts. We're already on 13, and it's so good. I love it. I mean, I've been sharing it with everybody, and everyone finds it fascinating. Cause
it's like I could hurry up and do 2 more parts real quick and throw it all in there real quick, but that all relates to so much more that you're not going to get the big picture if you don't understand how it correlates to other things and how it all matches up, you know. So that's why I got more parts coming in. You know, and I got a lot more to go. There's things I've been waiting since the moment I started that video that I've even gotten close to yet. Lots of those things, great things that are going to be mind blowing, but I can't just jump to it real quick, or it's gonna
it's going to make it watery to me.
Right.
To me, I gotta make it a little more thick. You gotta understand a little bit more. And
right.
When you start to understand how it all correlates, then for those that are patient, those that have wisdom and want to, watch it all the way through, then you're going to understand it much more on a higher level than the person that comes in on part 7 and watches the one video. Yeah, you're kind of right, but you're not right about this. And it's like, no, you didn't take the time to listen to everything. You didn't watch all the parts.
Well, I put together a playlist, and I've been, I think it's up to like 6.5 hours already.
Oh, man.
It's like, when you have a spare 6.5 hours, why don't you check out the whole series? But, it's amazing because every part is totally different, and, it really, doesn't, there's not a lot of filler information. It's always, like, tons of information coming at you hard and fast. And, you cross-reference a lot of information in your other videos, so if people have been following you, it's easier to follow. You don't have to sit there and pause and research stuff, but I really found it, like, very fascinating. I'm looking forward to the end of it. I really think you did a good job, and, I think a lot of people didn't want to talk about that, but it's pretty obvious what happened on that day.
Right.
Yeah. Well, do we have any callers that want to ask any more questions?
Maybe
answer them real quick. I don't know. I don't know if people have been waiting or not. I'm sure there are lots of probably have a lot of questions they'd love to ask me, and I try to answer. That's why I make a lot of little, rant videos, so-called. I'll go out there and just spew out my heart real quick, and I'll just let everybody know, about my.
Yeah, we can always
all Freemasons. They all go back to evil people
like
and
a
blah
straight
blah blah.
Q&A for like a hour show or whatever, just straight questions.
I want to have you back, man. Like, I want to talk to you more.
Man. Appreciate it. Appreciate.
Things get touchy. That's going to happen. But like I said, I had a good time tonight, and
thank you, man.
I'd be glad to have you back. Maybe we can talk about some more in-depth questions and things. And
I'd like to come back. Over the last couple of years, I've been asked countless times to do interviews, and as everybody knows, I've been turning them down left and right. And maybe some of those I should have done. But like I said, I'm not here to do the right thing. I'm just doing me. Whether it's right or wrong, I don't know. I'm doing me, and I'm doing what the talents God gave me, and I'm gonna do the best I can.
I think it's important, and that's why we had you on the show. We want your message to be heard. Whether we have personal disagreements or not, that's not the point. The point is that we're all here to represent the truth. And
I'll be glad
I feel like your followers, and our followers, could benefit from that.
It's like a gift, we're giving to people. But like I said, I would love to fight alongside you. We're all fighting the common enemy.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Yep. That's the
disinformation.
That's right. That's the whole bottom line. Is the nature of your whole essence of being.
Right.
And my essence of being since day one has always been good. That's why I'm still standing tall. People have wanted to disprove me 1,000 times over, and then done shit. I'm standing tall. Why? Because my essence is built on truth and love. And wisdom, and that's why I'm still here. And I'll last them all. Keep bringing your bullshit, bring your deceptions, bring your lies, make videos of how I'm the son of Cain. No, I'm not. I'm not a Kabbalist. Ain't none of that shit. I don't belong to any group. I'm not a Freemason. Yeah, my grandfather was a Freemason, a 32nd degree, Sublime Prince of the Royal Secret.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that up too.
Yeah, he was and so people think that Freemason's evil. I even teach in my videos too about Freemasonry is a reaction to the action. It's just another group they own. Just like churches they own. It's just another thing they own. And the people that are a part of it, sure, there's some that are evil. There's people that belong to groups that are good and evil. The thing about it is that Freemasonry is built upon their whole theology, but the people that belong to it, the majority of them, have no idea whatsoever what it's really about. You know what I mean? Like I said, that's probably why my grandfather and my dad are not 33 degrees Freemasons. They're 32nd degrees. Do they understand on the level that I do? Not even. They don't. No, not even close.
Some people say that it's the 32nd degree that's when they learn that they get the secret. So, that's what some people argue with you. I'm sure you've heard that.
Oh yeah, but see, I can just tell you from personal experience that my grandfather and my stepdad, who became my real dad when I was 8, My real dad left when I was 3, but my stepdad, you know who John Ritter is on Three's Company? You ever watch that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my dad. He looks just like him, same personality, same good guy. His name was Craig. Craig is my father. Craig became a Freemason because my grandfather, who no one else in our family was the Freemason. My grandpa became a Freemason, and I tell this all in the book I'm writing, by the way. But he became a Freemason because he owned a tire shop and started becoming popular and rose, if you will, rose from being poor to making some good money. So of course they're going to get your hands on you. When you start making money, they're going to control you and own you. So he didn't know. He was just being a good guy and joined the Freemasons. Blah, blah. Same with my dad. He told my dad that, my stepdad, who I call Dad. But he's like, you should become a Freemason. That's how my dad Craig got involved. I wanted to please my grandfather and did it.
Well,
my dad is a great guy. My dad's a good person.
That's going to be the next show. That's going to be the next show. If you can come back and talk to us more about that would be awesome.
Definitely.
Oh, and I just want to add one thing before the show ends. John Ritter died on September 11, 2003.
Wow. Isn't that? Yeah, man. It's a small world, man. It's a trip.
It is.
That's for sure.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, man. Christopher, you're more than welcome to come back. Like I said, we'll cover more of this.
Hey, guys, thanks for having me. I appreciate it very much, and I look forward to coming back, man. And to all my supporters out there, thank you so much. I appreciate each and every one of you.
Take care, guys.
Take care.
Okay. Aloha.